11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What a fight! I think Canelo won it.
Juan, the Hispanic causing panic, Lascano.
Thanks to those joining me live and those that be joining me on archive. Do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. If you're watching live, if you're on the archive, hit the like button. Leave a comment. Give me your thoughts. The whole nine. All right? Definitely appreciate everybody who's tuning in. Leave a comment. Let me know you're there. I know some of you are just lurking in the don't just lurk in the shadows. Like, let me know you're there. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Shout out to Edwin Castillo. Says saludos. Shout out to you. If you're watching on X, you could always come to the YouTube channel D-Style Boxing. Subscribe. Hit the like. That way you're notified every time D-Style Boxing comes on live. All right? Well, we have the official weigh-in. I mean, Canelo weighed in about a little under 2 pounds, under the weight limit. Munguia weighed in under the weight limit slightly as well. Both made weight. So refreshing to see two professionals actually just make the weight. Very standard procedure, right? No, nobody's saying, oh, why should I make the weight? Why would I do it? If this and that and all that other clown shit. It's good to see two professionals making weight, standard procedure. All right. And we're going to keep it moving. Okay. So much to talk about. I touched on a lot of it yesterday. And you know, emotions got high. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Javier Logan, I know a few people think Canelo might start struggling with making weight, but 166 is very good as long as he's been at 168. I don't think Canelo's having trouble at all making 168 pounds. He's a small 168 pounder. He was not bigger than Jermell. He was just better than Jermell in every way. All the people that thought Jermell could beat Canelo just don't know shit about boxing. That's what it is. He was just better in every single way. And the people that thought that he was going to win just don't know boxing. Okay, they went crawling back to the little hole after their stupid little Jermell's going to beat him predictions. All right? So anyway, Repa says Alan Green. Interesting. She got a profit in the building. So much to talk about here, you know. So much to talk about. Well, where do I even start? JC, ¿Cómo estás, JC? I don't know. I want to know where's Nando at. You know, I still want to know where Nando's at. I think he's waiting to see. I'm going to tell about the utensils. But don't worry, no utensil talk today. All right, like don't worry about it. You come out, it's all good. Man, I'm actually excited for this fight. I've never had a problem with the fight. It just wasn't the idea. You all know, there's no secret. Canelo Benavidez is the fight I really want. But this is a good substitute. It's a really good fight still, and it's a good fight to have if you're going to fight Benavidez next, right? It's a perfect fight because it's a guy who's high volume, is going to bring pressure, and it's a good fight to have before Benavidez. It might not be the majority, but some people out there actually believe that Munguia is a tougher fight than Benavidez. I don't agree with that, but hey, everyone has a right to their opinion, right? Who knows? They might end up being right. Who knows, right? But I am so looking forward to seeing some chingazos tomorrow. Let me tell you something, man. Leather's going to fly. Punches are going to land. and there's going to be some savagery in that ring, right? There's just something special in the air when two Mexican warriors step into a ring and fight. There's just something special about it, right? And don't let the fact that Munguia and Canelo don't have beef and don't dislike each other, they're respectful to one another. Don't let that make you believe that for any reason either guy is going to hesitate to knock the other dude's block off. Don't let that distract you from the fact that they're still going to go out there and try to do complete, total damage to each other. Neither guy will hesitate to knock the other guy's head off his shoulders if he has to. And they will. No guy is going to put any less humph on those body shots. No guy's going to hold back here. This is going to be war as long as it lasts, right? And this is the type of fight this is going to be. And I'm looking forward to it. Okay? There will be blood likely coming out of the nose of both guys in this fight. Like I'm telling you right now, Edwin Castillo says Nando is suddenly and surprisingly working on being Employee of the Year. He can't stop and comment. I got you. Shout out to Nando, man. Nando's that dude, though. But man, he just the timing is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But we're not going to talk about that today. We're not going to bring up the utensils. Don't worry about it. But here's the thing. Let me ask you guys, right? Do you think Oscar De La Hoya has successfully gotten in the head of Canelo? Do you think he has successfully accomplished his goal? Right? Like, I think his goal was, I'm going to get under his skin. I'm going to try to get him angry, right? And is it mission accomplished? That's question number one. Question number two is it going to matter? Do you think it got to Canelo, number one? And second, is it going to matter at the end of the day? And if it does matter, what type of effect do you think it's going to have? Is it going to benefit Canelo? Is it going to be more fiery, more red? Or is it going to benefit Munguia if Canelo fights with more emotion than smarts? If he fights with more emotion than IQ? If he fights with more emotion than ring generalship? If he fights with more emotion than defense? If he fights with more emotion, right, than effective aggression? If there's emotion involved, can that get into what do you guys think? Is the first question I'm asking. What type of an effect do you think it's going to have is what I'm asking. And now Reese Mack saying Canelo can be a hothead, though. It's not the first time he jumped ugly. I'm going to tell you guys the truth here. What I believe got under the skin of each guy, right? Canelo, and there's a pattern with this, really reacted when the positive test was brought up. Is when he really leaned in the mic and started saying, pinche pendejo, tú no escribes lo que tú pones, güey. Tú no hablas con corazón. A ti te escribe lo que dices. That's when he really started. Okay? And then, Oscar, in my opinion, what got him going, what I think what irritated him and why he's talking about defamation, and it's not really about what Canelo said about the money. It's about the utensils, right? The reason Nando went to be Employee of the Month all of a sudden was because he brought that up, right? Shout out to Nando. I'll just fucking. But that's what irritated each guy. Like, that's really what got under the skin of each guy at the end of the day. That bothers Oscar. And you know it bothers him because he won't. That's the one thing he won't own up to. He'll own up to like not being there as a promoter. He'll own up to that, surprisingly. He'll own up to his mental health issues. He'll own up to the fact that, you know, he needed help and he sought help and he neglected his mental health and he wasn't there as a promoter. And he owns up to that. He owns up to even the panty photos. He owns up to all those things. But he never brings up the kitchen. Oscar de la Hoya never brings up or owns up to, yeah, I put utensils up my ass. He never says that. He never owns up to that. Ever. Right? That's what I think. So, and if you notice, even the dudes defending Oscar, they're not bringing that up. Everyone's talking about how Oscar spit facts, but they're not bringing up that fact because they're embarrassed by it. Oscar's embarrassed by it. They're all embarrassed by it. All these pro De La Hoya people are not bringing that up. They're not bringing it up, bro. None of them. Notice, they're not bringing up the utensils. It's embarrassing. Even Munguia laughed at the utensils comment. I mean, this is crazy. But what I want to make sure people understand, if you go down the timeline, and maybe I need to make a montage video of this, Oscar did start it, right? And when everything went to litigation and he sued Oscar de la Hoya, Canelo did, and you know, they obviously parted ways, and he went out to sign with Matchroom, and he's had a new deal with his own. All De La Hoya ever did, De La Hoya could have let it be. De La Hoya got caught with his hand in the cookie jar by Canelo and by Gennady Golovkin. Dude got caught red-handed, and I'm going to show you. With his hand in the cookie jar. All right? Let me see if I can bring this up right now. Let me see if I can find it. Where's it at? I retweeted it. So give me a moment. Once again, I should probably get all this ready before I go live, but a time. You know what I mean? Time restraints. There it is. I found it. Shout out to Hard Times Boxing on Twitter. He also watches this channel, so shout out to him. Okay. I'm gonna show you guys. Like everyone's talking about the facts. Yeah. De La Hoya said facts. Yeah, facts by De La Hoya. Yeah, facts. Okay, let's talk facts. Okay, let's just go. All right. Here it is. You guys see that, right? Let me zoom it in for you. There we go. This is from ESPN. The money was due within 10 days of Golden Boy Promotions payment from HBO for the pay-per-view buys, according to the suit. The suit doesn't state when HBO paid Golden Boy. The 160-pound championship bout, which Alvarez won by a majority decision. Oh, man, I know that hurts a lot of guys, bro. He won the fight. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Generated approximately 1.1 million pay-per-view buys in the U.S. and 27 million, in ticket sales. Triple G alleges breach of contract, breach of fiduciary duty, conversion, constructive trust, and accounting. He seeks a jury trial. All right. Los Angeles contended. Well, actually, I can't read what it says up here because this guy copied this, but the sum of $9 million, etc., was incorrect due to an accounting error. On September 27, Golden Boy delivered a revised account report that showed Triple G was due an additional $1.375 million per court documents. Golovkin demanded payment, but Golden Boy has refused, according to the suit. The boxer seeks at least $450,000 in sponsorship revenue, $177,000 other funds simply not paid, though listed on Golden Boy's own. So I can't read the rest. I don't know what it says. Ladies and gentlemen, where's the lie? Where's the lie? This dude, he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Hey, Oscar, quítate esa pinche mano de ahí. Dale su dinero a Golovkin. So when he says, ya le pagaste a Golovkin lo que le debías, did you pay Golovkin what you owed him? He didn't say, Oscar didn't deny it. Oh, yo no le debo nada. I don't owe him nothing. You owe them money and you paid up, motherfucker. You owe them money. You owed both of them money and you had to pay up and you were embarrassed. That's the facts. That's the truth. That's the reality. That's just what happened. Yeah, facts. He's spitting facts. Well, here are your facts. He stole money from Golovkin and Canelo. And when Canelo says, I have to get my lawyers involved, this is what he's talking about. He owed him money. He owed Gennady Golovkin money. And he had to pay up the money. And like a little jealous girlfriend, he was mad and bitter about it. And then he had to sit at home and watch Canelo have an undisputed run and have a good run with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, and he was jealous. Those are the facts. All of a sudden, Canelo wasn't a good fighter. All of a sudden, Canelo was never good. All of a sudden, Canelo's flat-footed. All of a sudden, Canelo walks on quicksand. All of a sudden, Canelo's slow. All of a sudden, Canelo's boring. All of a sudden, Canelo's not good because I'm not promoting him no more. And I'm not promoting him. He can't be good. I need to promote him. He's with that tall British dude. Why is he with him? Why is he unappreciative of me? Why isn't he with me? Come back with me. I made you. You were with Golden Boy for decades, even though decades would literally mean anything over 11 years. But you weren't even with me that long. But I don't care. It doesn't matter. You were with me for decades. I made you. Yo te hice. Yo soy tu papá. Yo hice todo. I made you even though I admit I wasn't there. I made you even though I was fucking snorting cocaine lines. I made you even though I admit I wasn't there as a promoter. He admits this, that he wasn't there doing his job as a promoter. Everybody knows Eric Gomez runs the show. Roberto Diaz did the matchmaking. Roberto Diaz even said we didn't want him to fight Lara. He insisted, Deloya, you cannot say I made him, I matchmade him. No, he wanted to fight Lara. You didn't want him to fight Lara. You don't get credit for that fight. You were just a promoter. Okay? It's your job to promote. What does a promoter do? Promote. That's your job. You're supposed to promote. Well, what do you want, a cookie? We already saw your hand in the cookie jar. Your hand was in the cookie jar. You stole money from these dudes, and you got caught, and you're embarrassed, and now you're gonna sue for defamation for a lawsuit you lost. You paid up. These are facts. Oh, these are you say facts. Facts. Yeah. When he says Canelo failed 2 tests, okay, well, when Canelo says you stole money from him, those are facts. How about those facts? Where's the lie? Where's the lie? That is just the reality. And then you defended Canelo. Like, so what you're saying essentially, Oscar, is that you're admitting that you were being fake. Because you continue to promote Canelo after the failed drug test. You still did the second Triple G fight. You still did the fight with Rocky Fielding. You still did, I believe, the Danny Jacobs fight, and also you did the Kovalev fight. You continued to promote Canelo, and then you were still begging him to come back to you, and he wouldn't come back to you. Now that you're not working with him, okay, you're jealous. You're jealous of the tall British dude, okay? You're jealous of PBC because you were making money. You were making moolah. You were making profits with Canelo. Now you can't make those profits, all right? You could have let it be after you lost in court, but you kept throwing shots. That's what you always do. All right, that's what Oscar De La Hoya does. Calls out Dana White for not paying fighters, and he pays fighters less in his MMA show. You can't make this up. So that's that. And I believe anyway that Oscar De La Hoya also needs to chill with the accusations because his fighter, Ryan Garcia, just tested positive. Ryan Garcia, by your definition, he tested positive. That's all I know. I'm not an investigator. I'm just saying he tested positive. That's it. Okay, so we're going to put the same label on Ryan that you're putting on your former fighter, Canelo Alvarez. We're going to put the same exact thing. The same label. The same description. The same accusation. It's the same. Rules are rules. Positive tests are positive tests. So, and it wasn't just one substance, by the way, that he got caught with. So you got double to worry about. Double. Let's talk about this fight. Jaime Munguia, Oscar De La Hoya against Canelo. Great fight. I think we're going to see the following. I'm going to tell you how I think this fight's going to go. I think I don't know if Canelo's going to use his jab in this fight or not, and it's kind of frustrating that I don't know that. He hasn't, and I know people are going to say, I'm not saying he hasn't thrown jabs. I'm talking about using a jab consistently throughout a fight is what I'm talking about, okay? I would like him to consistently use the jab in this fight. Whether he'll consistently use it or not, I have no idea, right? It'll be a much easier fight for him if he does, in my opinion. But let's say he isn't. I still think he's going to win this fight. I think there's a couple of things I think you got to take into account. Number one, let's look at each guy. What are the big qualities that Munguia brings in this fight? One of them is size. I do think he's physically bigger than Canelo. Is he the biggest guy Canelo's ever fought? No. Right? What's another thing he brings to the table? Power. Real power. Dangerous. He's the hardest puncher Canelo's ever fought. I don't know. Does he hit harder than a prime Golovkin? I don't know. Does he hit harder than even the Golovkin that Canelo just fought a couple years ago? I don't know, actually. I don't know who hits harder. I'm going to guess Munguia, but that's a guess. Does he hit harder than Kovalev? I just don't know. Does he hit harder than Callum Smith? I think. I just don't know. That's my point. Danny Jacobs could crack. He fought him. He fought plenty of guys with decent power, a lot of power, and he's handled them just fine, Canelo. So I don't know if that's going to be Canelo's going to feel something he never felt before. In other words, so those are two. The other thing is volume, right? And you could maybe argue, yeah, sure, that's probably the one guy he's going to bring the type of volume theoretically that maybe Canelo's never really faced before in a while, anyway. Fair enough. That's fair to bring up. That's fair to analyze, right? Good combinations and good put punches together very well, punches and bunches. Is willing to take a couple shots to get his in. So that does make Munguia dangerous against anybody, right? But then you have Canelo. Well, what does Canelo bring that Munguia's never seen before? Let me ask you guys. All right, let's do this little exercise. Has Jaime Munguia ever faced anybody that punches as hard as Canelo? Anybody? Like, name me the guy. Like, who has he fought that hits as hard as Saul Canelo is? Just give me a name. Anybody. Has Jaime Munguia ever faced anyone who's as good of a counterpuncher as Canelo? Anybody? Like, can you just name me one guy that's a better counterpuncher than Canelo than Munguia's ever fought? Name me one. I'm just asking for one name. Has Munguia ever fought anybody who's as good at mid-range as Saul Canelo is in his entire career? No. Name me one guy. Name me one. I just want one name. Give me one. I beg you to give me one name. Has Munguia ever fought someone with the ring IQ of Canelo? No. And in all of these, by the way, it's not even close. It's not even close to me, bro. Has he ever fought anybody with those ring? He has not. Has Munguia ever fought someone who's as good of a body puncher as Canelo? No. He hasn't. Now, I'm not saying all these things are a reason to pick Canelo. I'm just saying they're factors to consider, is all I'm saying, right? Everyone needs to face a guy like they've never faced before they, it's kind of like that whole, like, somebody's got to get, fights you for you to beat somebody. I get all that, but we got to factor all these things in. This is not just one or two things that Munguia's never faced before. It's a multitude of things, right? It's a lot of things, guys. We're talking about many things that Munguia's never faced before. Mid-range. Never faced somebody with mid-range like that. Never faced somebody who could punch like that. Never faced somebody who's a body puncher like that. Never faced somebody with a ring IQ like that. These are very significant things. And it's a leap in all of those departments. And every single one of them. So we have to consider those things. You can't just ignore it. Just like I'm not ignoring the fact that Munguia may very well be, I can't really think of anyone who brought volume the way Munguia's going to bring it. I acknowledge that. Right? But that's one thing out of the multitude of things, and the one thing Canelo has being the counterpuncher. Munguia's never fought a counterpuncher at that level. Ever. Counterpunching, all right, does, for the most part, reduce punch output. Very important to know. You know what I mean? So, let me get the super chat here. I appreciate it so much. Andrew, big up! People talk about Canelo not stopping Ryder, but Munguia could have stopped Smith. Canelo round 10, TKO. There you go. Right? There you go. Hey, I appreciate the support, brother. Much respect. Much respect. So, there are things that we all need to consider here. I'm looking for the Derevyanchenko. First of all, anyone, do yourself a favor and watch the Sergey Derevyanchenko fight with Munguia. First of all, if you haven't seen it, what the fuck's the matter with you? Number one, it's an amazing fight. But watch it. And watch some of the things Derevyanchenko did in there and had success with. And Munguia needed a knockdown in the 12th to come out with a victory, or it would have been a draw. And some people had Derevyanchenko up on the cards. Very important to take note of that. And I understand Derevyanchenko is not a slouch. He's a good fighter, but I do believe he was a little old and past it. Like they timed it to where they thought he was done, and they miscalculated. And I think that's what's happening here. Okay. Um, and now you could say JJ Munguia has to watch a Bivol fight. He cannot do what Bivol does. Canelo could very easily do the things Devinchenko could do, very easily, right? So look, obviously, I'm just giving you guys my opinion on how I think the fight's going to go. Obviously, the ring will sort out the like the ring will sort out like everything. You know what I mean? It's who's going to win is going to win. Like it is what it is. I could be wrong. I could be right. I could be half right. We'll see on fight night, right? I'm just going to be honest with you, and I'm not going to play it safe, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I think it's going to be a 50-50 fight and that I'm seriously believing Munguia is going to win this fight. If I really don't, I don't believe that. Right? I just don't. If I had to put a percentage on it, I would say 85% sure Canelo wins. You know what I mean? 50%, maybe 10% Munguia wins. The rest of the draw. That's how I feel about it. Like I do not believe it's going to be a close fight. I just don't. Now I'm looking for these stats here. Just give me a second. I don't know if they didn't have it or what's going on here, but maybe it's I'm spelling Devinchenko's name wrong or something. But let's see. And look, people will say, because he was more patient against Sean Ryder. Look, I think he's going to go back to the old tricks, bro. You know what I mean? I can't find a CompuBox stats with Devinchenko fight. What the fuck's going on? The fuck? Oh, hold on. I don't know why I did that. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, I don't know. I can't find it. What the fuck's going on? I swear to God, I cannot find the punch stats for that fight. I don't know if it's maybe because I'm using Bing.com. I mean, maybe I should use fucking. I don't have the round. I don't know what it is. Does anybody have it? Anybody know where I can find it? Give me a second, guys. Give me one moment. I'm gonna go to YouTube. I'm not YouTube, but Google. Bing ain't shit, bro. Hold on. I think I found it. All right. Found it. See, Google's where it's at. Bing ain't shit, bro. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Bing at all. What the fuck is going on? This shit's crazy, bro. So in this fight, again, there's no denying that Munguia has really, really good punch output. Okay, like, there's no denying this. There's no way around it. You got to put respect on his punch output. Okay. Why can't I find? Now I can get my StreamYard page. What the fuck? Hold on a second. There it is. Let's share it. A couple of things to look at here. This was a fight. First of all, fight of the year candidate, amazing fight. Let me just put that out there, okay? Check this out. Total punch stats. These are really good punch stats, guys. Munguia's throwing between 70, 71. This round 40 through 80. Some rounds he threw just 53, but that's pretty good. 74 round 7. Round 12, he threw an amazing 112 punches late in that fight. So we know he's got stamina, right? We know Munguia has the stamina to keep throwing for a total of 12 rounds. He threw 112 punches in round two. That won him the fight. He dropped Derevyanchenko. Derevyanchenko only threw 31 punches. He was hanging on, and that's how that happened. So very important to take note of that, okay? But a key detail to look at here is the jab. If you look at the jabs from Munguia, 39, 27, 24, 37, 34 jabs in round 12, 42 in round 7. He throws a lot of jabs, a lot of them, okay? Power punches, as you look at the rounds, 31, 44, 32, 41. So Canelo needs to expect around an average of 40 to 50 power punches coming his way if Munguia doesn't make any type of adjustment and decides, I'm going to fight the way I always fight, right? I think that's important to look at. Munguia, right, threw or landed 189 punches, all right? So there you go. Out of 800. 83 of them to the body. Very important. All right. He threw 54. He landed, 54 jabs out of 363 jabs. Very important. Again, the output is going to be very important in this fight. All right. He threw more jabs than Derevyanchenko. So we know Munguia is going to use his jab here. I think when people think of Munguia, they don't even think of the jab, but he does use the jab a lot. All right. So he's going to be using it a lot in this fight. Just to take note. All right. And I'm expecting this high work rate in this fight. Or I'm expecting him to attempt the high work rate. I do think the counter punching of Canelo is going to play a big part on what Munguia does. If Canelo hurts Munguia early, this fight's a wrap. It's you could pack it up. It's done, right? I'm expecting Munguia to withstand more than that. I think Munguia will be able to take it for a couple of rounds. He's got a granite chin. He might even take it for the full 12. So like that's important to know. But however, it's still going to make Munguia think for a little bit, I think. The counter punching is going to be very effective in this fight because Munguia fights in patterns. His combinations are thrown in patterns. And I think Canelo's going to notice that. I do think at times Canelo will be first. I think every time Munguia lands, something will come back. Canelo will fire away in return. And every time Canelo lands, Munguia is not necessarily going to land, right? So it's very important to understand that, in my opinion. I think Canelo will be fighting at mid-range. He'll be able to work on that long torso. Overhand rights for Canelo will be landing all night, in my opinion. And I think that's a perfect range for his hook as well. I just don't believe Munguia is going to be able to just take that round after round after round. I just don't. And I think he'll stop him in the late rounds. I think 10, 11th round stoppage for Canelo is where I'm going with this. I don't think Canelo's going to have a hard time finding the target. And if you're banking on, oh no, Munguia will take the damage and he'll come back and win anyway. If you're banking on that, I guess you could bank on that. It's not impossible. But I'm not going to put my money on that. You know what I mean? I'm just not. You know what I mean? So I think the body work is going to be very effective. Like if there's one thing I look at Derevyanchenko that he didn't really do was Derevchenko didn't really go to the body. You know what I mean? Landed 39 body shots in an entire fight. So, you gotta, okay, that's not good. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's Canelo needs to go to the body. Like, there's no doubt about that. You're not gonna stop a Munguia just going to the head. Dude's got a hard head. You gotta go to the body. And I think Canelo will. I think he will go to the body. I think he will land good shot. I think he will work that long torso. And I think you're going to see a hybrid of Canelo moving plus also coming forward. Canelo he's more versatile. He can box in different ways. He's got better head movement than Munguia. He rolls with shots better than Munguia. It's harder to catch him with a clean shot than Munguia. There's just so much that goes to his favor. The one thing Munguia has is the following. If he could withstand the storm early, take Canelo's best punches, keep pressing forward, tire Canelo out, okay, and then he gets so exhausted that at that point, a lot of those factors I mentioned don't really play a role because he's exhausted and he's tired, right? And you could just kind of outman him in the second half of the fight. Then that, to me, that's the one pathway to victory, but he's going to have to go through. It's going to be baptism by fire, right? But I just think Canelo will be able to pace himself, right? I think he's going to control the fight. I think he's going to temporarily get on his back foot if he has to. You know what I mean? Just even if for 10 seconds here and there to give himself a little bit of a break. Munguia can't. I'm not saying he can't do that, but I don't think he could do it as effective as Canelo. I got Canelo winning this fight. Late stoppage. I think it'll be fun while it lasts. It's impossible for a Munguia fight to not be exciting. So I think Munguia's not going to pull Jermell. He just isn't. And I think the body work of Canelo, plus the shots upstairs, plus hitting Munguia with shots Munguia doesn't see coming, that's the other important thing that Canelo's going to be able to do that these other guys really couldn't do. Being first, catching him with counters, the superior hand speed of Canelo, the superior footwork of Canelo, the timing of Canelo, the ring IQ of Canelo. I think it's all going to play a lot of dividends here. And of course, what he's racing against or fighting against is the stamina of Munguia, the size of Munguia, the power of Munguia, and that's the one thing he's kind of fighting against. So I think most people in Munguia are thinking about the second half of the fight, which I get. But I think people will be pleasantly surprised in this fight how Canelo handles Munguia, actually. And I think it's an important fight for Canelo and his legacy. I think it's important for Canelo to fight a guy with a really good engine that's known as a guy that doesn't stop coming, who's known as having great stamina. And it's an important fight for him to answer the questions is, can his old knees, can his old man, can this aging fighter, many are questioning his stamina, can he overcome those things against a fighter like Munguia, right? Because I don't think anybody really at 168 is going to bring that type of constant pressure outside of maybe Benavidez. So I think it's important for him to answer those questions. And I think this is a very important fight for Canelo. If you're an all-time great, if you are a fighter that's supposed to be, one of the greats, you're supposed to win this fight. You know what I mean? It's just the truth. And there's going to be a lot of questions if Munguia wins, right? Now, we have to factor everything in, and we got to see if there's a rematch and all that, but there's going to be questions for sure because results in fights matter, right? And in this case, okay, this is a lot of greats when they were faced with a young lion and they were the quote-unquote old lion, right? They overcame that, right? And I think this is Canelo's opportunity. All the greats overcome this type of shit, right? And it's time, and it's Canelo's turn to overcome that, to answer the questions about the younger lion and does he still have it, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And if Canelo looks dominant in this fight and wins it impressively, he could answer a lot of the questions that people have had. right? Even you don't have to be a Canelo hater or somebody that doesn't like Canelo to be asking the fair questions of, has the sport caught up to him? Has the wear and tear caught up to him? Is he the same? His stamina has been questionable. Can he handle the constant pressure of Munguia, right? Well, here is a test that's being put in front of him. And can Canelo pass that test with flying colors? I think that is the important thing to look at here. I think that's the one thing that makes this fight intriguing, right? And I believe Canelo's going to answer those questions with flying colors. Joker Wild, so what's the favorable surprise tactical and strategic game plan? I'm not sure. I do think Munguia is going to be more strategic than people think. Okay? I think when people say, like, oh, yeah, Munguia's going to come in, he's going to take 4-5 and land one, I just don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to fight smarter. I think he's going to use his. Again, I showed you guys. I showed you the stats. Like, Munguia jabs more than people think. You, like, admit it. You don't think about the jab when you think of Munguia. You just don't. But he does throw the jab, right? So I do think it's going to be more tactical than people think. I think Munguia, people look at him as some brute. And look, I don't think he has a ring IQ of Canelo, but he's not dumb enough to just come in head first and just get hit. Like, it's not going to do that, right? So I think it's going to be more tactical, and then he's going to lead to the pressure around round 3, 4, or something like that. Chato los tres chingones. Canelo's going to hurt this kid, man. And I agree with you. I agree he's going to hurt him. I think Canelo has the style to beat Munguia. The question people are bringing up is the age and the stamina, right? And the longevity. How long Canelo's been in the sport. That's what I keep hearing. But there's people that just think Munguia's going to be too much. I just disagree with those people. It's got to be honest. If Munguia wins, then he wins, ladies and gentlemen. That's why the sport is a sport. That's why they fight the fights. And that's that. You know what I mean? So with that said, guys, let me read Nando's comment before I roll out, because I got to get going. Had and Zoo always been a blueprint for a young lion to take out the old lion. Taking your time won't work out for Munguia. Got to get Canelo out of his comfort zone, 100%. Yeah, but he could do that in a responsible way. I still think he needs to use the jab. I think, in my opinion, if he jumps on Canelo early, that'll be interesting. But man, early on, you're running into like vicious power, and it could work. Hey, you weather the storm. You might even get knocked down, but you get back up, and eventually, by round 4 or 5, if he's tired and exhausted, then you got him right here at the palm of your hand. I mean, it's maybe a risk they might take, right? But it's a risk. It could result to be very costly. So we'll see. You know what I mean? But we'll see. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait for this fight. Okay, van a tirar chingazos. Okay, like we're gonna see. It's gonna be great, man. With that said, guys, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. This is D Style. I'm out. Peace.